Hey, welcome back to our final case study as part of this module on design thinking in our self-paced online course for product owners. In this case study, we will talk about the steps that we took in order to build these courses, our self-paced online courses, be it for product owners, Scrum Masters, or Agile leaders. As described in the previous two case studies, we relied heavily on talking to a lot of customers. The good thing, once you have an established business, is that you really have customers. This is different for many of you applying this kind of techniques as a startup founder. Now, if you do have customers, you can easily reach out to them. If you don't, you have to find potential people or potential customers and go through the same steps as we talked about earlier and will cover in this case study as we did with our existing customers. So, to whom did we speak? We realized in the past years that our customers are not all the same. They have various or different needs. Some of our customers are people that want to learn about the different roles and responsibilities, be it a Scrum Master, a product owner, or an Agile leader. Those people sign up for our public courses and sometimes participate in the in-house courses we deliver for organizations. Another group of customer are consultants. Those consultants do not work in the role of a Scrum Master, product owner, or Agile leader, but they help organizations get a fundamentally better understanding of the roles and the frameworks around it, so they really act as coaches, consultants, advisors, whatever you want to call them. And finally, we have HR people that are in charge of identifying who could be a good supplier for really good education and training for their colleagues, for their employees. Speaking to those customers, we realized very quickly that especially for the consultants and the HR people, our courses, although they were really good, had some downsides. Let's dive in. Consultants complained that our courses usually happened as full-day courses and usually on weekdays. Why did they complain? Consultants try to optimize billable hours or billable days. Now, if they're currently on a project where a customer is willing to pay them for the work that they do, if they don't go to the customer and spend the time in training, they actually lose money, they actually lose revenues. And running the trainings on a weekend is just too much of a stress. Working 5 days a week, then running the training for 2 days on the weekend, that's just too much. And in many cases, even if a consultant signed up for a course 3 months, 6 months, 2 months ago, when the course came up, they had something urgent that they needed to take care of for their client and had to skip the course. Unfortunately, in many of those cases, they still had to pay for the course, but they couldn't attend it, they couldn't learn, and they couldn't get the certificate. For the HR people, the problems were slightly different. It was not so much about having billable hours or billable days maximized. It was mostly about how can we scale a certain type of training and quality within our organization. So this was mainly a problem for HR people working in large corporations with thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of employees. Engaging a single trainer like me was definitely not a scalable solution for them. You can do a quick math in your own head. If I teach a course every week and take 2 weeks of vacation to make it simple, that would be 50 courses a year. If I have 20 persons in those courses, it would be 1,000 people per year. Now imagine you're a company and you want to train 50,000 people. That's not going to work with SOAR. And the moment you engage other trainers, the quality might suffer or it might not be consistent. Looking at these challenges, both for the consultants and for the HR people, we quickly realized that we have to rethink our approach to educating people, that we have to completely change what we do in order to make it A, scalable, and B, work with the schedule of a consultant. The idea that came up were self-paced online courses. Now, what did we do? Did we immediately dive into building these courses? Of course not. we continued talking to our customers to see whether there is problem-solution fit. When we presented this idea of a self-paced online course to our customers, they liked it, but also they saw some downsides. For example, what they valued in our live courses were the exercises, was the interaction, was the ability to learn from other participants and ask dedicated questions to the trainer. What they also really liked were the applicability, the case studies, etc. And they worried that some of that might not be working if you move to a self-paced online course. What we took away was A, we need to continue to have exercises. But it can't be the same exercises because most of the exercises that we had created for a live course were group exercises with the intention of people also getting to know each other. In a self-paced online course, you can't rely on people doing this as a group, so you have to adapt the exercises to make them individual. What we also took away was the interaction that customers valued between the participants and the trainers. The ability to ask questions, to clarify certain things, or the ability to bring up their own challenges and then try to find a solution that makes it work for them so that they can transfer the insights from the training to their own work. What we did was to think about additional features of our product in addition to the self-paced online course itself. For example, the Slack community that we have in place, or the ability to book Q&A sessions with a group of people and learn from the trainer and interact with the trainer in those. Similar to the other two examples we provided, be it truck development and insulin pens, you can see that applying design thinking early on not only gets you to a better understanding of your customer problems and needs, but also helps you iterate on your solution before you actually start building stuff. Too often do we see agile teams being only focused on delivering something at the end of the sprint. And that might be a huge problem. Because delivering something at the end of the sprint, yes, it enables you to get feedback. But sometimes building stuff is actually quite expensive. And our intention has always been, how can we get feedback for as little money, as little resources as possible? How can we, as quickly as possible, reduce the uncertainty that we have? So when you go back to one of our previous modules where we talked about the context of Agile, where we shared with you the Stacy diagram, and where we compared empiricism and a defined approach to work, you see that that is the real intention. If we can build something that works and actually also sell it to our customers and provide value to them, yes, that's what we're going to do. But very early on, it's mainly about reducing uncertainty, and design thinking is a great tool for that. In our next video, we will quickly summarize everything that we covered in this module. I'll see you there.